We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxing Ego Unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live.
Wow. Mayweather Promotions CEO checks Eddie Hearn over the hatred. He hating on Gervonta Davis. So we're going to talk about that right now in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I'm going to jump right into it. Couple quick things. Don't know how you found my video, but somehow, somewhere you made it. Please help others arrive at the content by throwing a like on the video. It's free, it's quick, it's painless. It takes a couple of minutes. Now, I can play, I guess I'll do that for you guys. I'll play what Eddie Hearn said. He was really hating on Gervonta, saying he's fighting this Isaac Cruz. Nobody knows him, yada, yada. Roll the clip.
Not hating on Gervonta Davis, right? But what's the bigger fight this weekend? I'm sorry, but everybody's talking about Haney Diaz. No one's talking about Gervonta against Isaac Cruz. And I'm not saying it's a bad fight or anything. I'm not hating on these guys. This is a much bigger fight than that fight. And it's a much better fight. So you can't keep ignoring people and just live in a bubble and say, yeah, when those guys do that, when it's like Demetrius Andre. Yeah, when that guy wins a world title, all right, wins a world title. Oh yeah, he don't sell any tickets, sells out Providence. He's not making any money, making a lot of money. Like, they've already said they'll only fight guys in the PBC. So that tells you everything you need to know. This isn't me hating on fights, I'm just talking reality. Gervonta Davis against Isaac Cruz on Sunday. What does it do? 100,000? Less? I mean, no. Cruz
doing 200 plus.
Yeah, but I mean, that last time out you talked about against Leo Santa Cruz.
So I gotta stop it right there. Notice how Eddie Hearn's already hating on the numbers, saying, "What's it do 100,000 views?" Why do you care? See, the funny thing is, people get before some of these promoters and people in the world of boxing, and they don't ask the most simplistic questions. Why do you care? If Gervonta Davis sells 1 or 1 million, why do you care? You're not involved in the promotion. You have your own show. It's really, really weird. But then I like how the reporters corrected Eddie Hearn. He said, what does it do 100,000? And the reporters at the media scrum for, keep in mind, Devin Haney, which we're going to talk about, for Devin Haney's fight, they said, well, to be fair, Tank has been doing about 200,000 plus or better versus on pay-per-view. And he said, yeah, but that was against Leo Santa Cruz. He's a big name. And they're like, nah, he did that with Mario Barrios too. And then he switches it and said, oh, because he was a champion. But Mario Barrios still wasn't a household name like that. And Tank still did those types of numbers. Once again, you always see old media moving the goalpost. Each and every time. They're like, they know you're about to score, so they have to push back the goalpost to something different. Second of all, he was also the same, he being Eddie Hearn, the same person hating and saying Tank knocked out an undersized Leo Santa Cruz. So this shows me right then and there, you're not going to give credit because Tank knocked out Leo Santa Cruz and you said he was a 118 pounder in a video, in an interview, so you weren't giving him full credit. Now Tank did these numbers, 200,000 at $80 a pop. I purchased Tank's last 2 fights, and I'm going to purchase his fight on Sunday as well. So I can't speak for everyone else, but they got my money 3 times in the last rolling 12 months. And then now you're saying he ain't going to do these numbers. And then you're saying, oh, he only did those numbers because it was Leo Santa Cruz. I mean, it's just, he's saying, oh, I'm not being a hater. I'm just being realistic. But are you? Usually if you have to have that kind of disclaimer, you're doing it's when someone says, not to be rude, but you just know they're going to say something that's rude. That's why they're trying to brace you for it or give you that little disclaimer.
Sunday. What does it do? 100,000? Less? I mean, no.
Why do you care?
Cruz doing 200 plus.
But I mean, that last time out you talked about against Leo Santa Cruz, a household name.
Well,
Barrios was a world champion, But,
regular title.
Okay, well, you've gone back on your word. And then
no
Isaac
explanation.
Cruz, he's tough and game, but it's not that it's a bad fight, it's coming off the back of. This is the problem. You got Crawford Porter comes 2 weeks after 700,000 buys or 6 or whatever it was, Canelo Alvarez. And then after the 130 pay-per-view, 2 weeks later, you've got Gervonta Davis against someone no one's ever heard of because he's not, but he's a good fighter, Cruz. But let's be honest, no one's ever heard of him, right?
So right then and there, you can hear Eddie Hearn is hating. Like, instead of just promoting his event, which I'll get more to at the end of this video, he's hating, and it's apparent to see that, right? It's apparent to see that. Leonard Ellerbe's response to this hating interview was, quote, "This is the last time I'm going to address this pathological liar. Haney is an excellent fighter, but this guy just lies for no reason. Bigger fight? You sold less than 4,000 tickets in a 15,000 seat venue. Tank did more than that in his pre-sale before tickets went on actual sale." And Leonard Ellerbe, you could say his home base, his biggest fighter that he's ever been attached to, is representing, and has been for a while, Las Vegas, which is easy work. I ain't got work. Floyd Mayweather. So he's very connected in the Las Vegas scene. And in my opinion, this is what hurts Eddie Hearn. The talking, the pompous British attitude coming over to America. This is not going to work. I told you, Ego Stradamus strikes again. I mean, we're not here. America's built different. It's set up different. It's a different place. England, I used to live there. It's a great place, great people, but it's a different community, different things, British humor, all that's different, right? It's a different culture, different country. And Eddie Hearn thinks he's going to come in and, you know, fast talk his way into some. And it's ironic that the great Ego Stradamus, I must be doing my thing on the channel. Hopefully you guys subscribe and like it. Subscribe for the latest and greatest in content that I'm giving you, you know. But it's funny because I just talked about the same thing. Here in boxing, we have this situation. It's like a conundrum that we're in. And in this modern social media age, microwave, digital society of boxing, people think because they say something and then say facts at the end that it makes it facts because you stated. That doesn't make something facts. It doesn't make that thing that you said factual. And you have a lot of people spouting out facts that really aren't facts. And you have a lot of people who blindly lead the other blind off a cliff because they say things and it sounds good. You're like, oh, who's Isaac Cruz? Ha, 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 ha. You know? But Leonard Ellerbe just checked you. And I believe his numbers. Remember when Leonard Ellerbe said that Teofimo Lopez was not selling in Miami? And then they pulled. He was saying this from the beginning. So he's obviously connected. He said they weren't selling tickets like that. And then you heard Tank saying it as well. And then next thing you know, Teofimo got Rona. And then he's all of a sudden not fighting in Miami. And then Teo fights in his backyard where he's supposed to be from, and he did like 4,000 tickets with Eddie Hearn and DAZN. Good fight. And this is what I said in my I just recently discussed, I talk about this all the time, but I recently discussed it again post Teofimo George Kambosos. There's a difference between a good fight, like you watch a fight and it's good, versus a good fight that hits on all cylinders and is a blockbuster, money making, you know, makes the most money. For example, people can say whatever they want. Canelo fought James Kirkland 1 week after Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Old media complained that Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, I do believe they said it was the boringest fight. It was the most boring spectacle. It was a disappointment and all this stuff they said. But to this day, that fight is the most lucrative fight in boxing history. Yes, with Mike Tyson and Lennox Lewis fighting and Holyfield and all the other big fights that we've seen, Floyd versus Pacquiao held that record. So you got people who are leading you astray and swindling you like Eddie Hearn, and he's saying, oh, the Devin Haney fight is much bigger. Listen, respects to Devin Haney. I know him, know his father. They're a great team. I'm going to be checking out his fight too, right? I'm going to be supporting his fight too. But according to Mayweather Promotions, he's saying they sold less than 4,000 tickets in the MGM or wherever the fight's at, the old MGM that holds 15,000. And he said we did more than that in pre-sale tickets before the tickets were announced. And then of course, you know, a lot of the commission reports come out after the fact, so we'll be able to see that. You'll be able to look in the crowd and pretty much gauge how many people are there. So it feels like Eddie Hearn should just really focus on look. And as I'm saying it, what did this weekend? What is it? Leonard Ellerbe saying? Eddie Hearn, he should just promote his fight and don't worry about Tank and what we're doing with our event. It's the oldest trick in the book, but he should know better to uck with me. I'm stating facts and he's lying, trying to bring some attention to his event. See, and that's what I'm saying. It's a bad look. And it's funny because at the end of the day, if you really look at it, is Eddie Hearn can't save. He can lead people astray and make you believe what he wants you to believe. But all in all, he's setting you up for failure. For example, Tank Davis, Gervonta Davis is absolutely a star. That's why everybody keeps mentioning his name. When Gervonta Davis, and you can verify this, when Gervonta Davis fought, it was supposed to be Abner Mares, who's doing commentary on Showtime. Abner Mares, and it was a good fight people were looking forward to. The fight got canceled. Abner Mares got injured, detached retina, just like Errol Spence had to pull out a Pacquiao fight. Abner Mares, based on a medical restriction and a damaged eye, and he had to pull out of the Tank fight. Tank went on to fight Hugo Ruiz, right? First round knockout for Tank. Easy work. He came out, if just to jog. My memory is great. I told you, I do this every day of my life. These young boys can't beat me. He came out to Michael Jackson Thriller, right? That was his ring walk. The point I'm making is this: even though the initial opponent, which was a great opponent, Abner Mares for Tank, pulled out because of an injury, and an unknown guy then replaced him, which was Hugo Ruiz. Do you know that Lil Wayne, I'm single, nigga, I had to cancel that bit. Like, you know, I ain't tripping on nothing. I'm sipping on something, and my homeboy say he got a bad bit. Tonight, Lil Wayne, Birdman, Drake, Odell Beckham Jr. were all in attendance in LA to watch Tank versus some unknown person, Hugo Ruiz. So you could tell Eddie Hearn is hating because Tank had star power even when he's fighting Gamboa. I met Shaquille O'Neal. Never met Shaquille at any other fight. I met Shaquille O'Neal and talked to him briefly in Atlanta for Gamboa. And old media said, oh, Gamboa, he's washed, even though he's coming off a knockout win, whatever, against a former champion on Tank's undercard. But y'all don't know boxing, so I don't want to get too intricate. I'm not trying to get too intricate into you. I'm trying to give you a little for your own benefit. I don't want to get too intricate. But anyway, Shaquille O'Neal was there. Mutombo was there. Steven Jackson was there. Matt Barnes, all these dudes was there, right? And this was for Gamboa, and old media was hating on that fight, just like they hating on Isaac Cruz fight, just like Eddie Hearn hating on the Cruz fight, and like Leonard Ellerbe saying he's trying to bring attention to his event. He said, why even bring up someone else's event in an attempt to ish on it, knowing you're lying and getting ready to be exposed for lying? I like their fight, and I'm not going to ish on it just to promote my event. That's whack to me. So that's what I'm saying. Eddie Hearn can't win with these type of games, bro. Look, Eddie is hustling to promote in the US, but he doesn't have the tools. Look, shout out to this dude, Chewy. That's a good comment. See, I told you, Eddie Hearn making it worse. Devin Haney versus JoJo Diaz, no problem with the fight whatsoever. I'll support, I'll tune in, but it makes you look salty and it makes you look bad when you're going out of your way to hate, and it just makes you look inept because you, first of all, it's oxymoronic to lambast Mayweather Promotions Tank fight and say nobody knows it. Then why are you spending the time to even talk about it during Devin Haney's media week or fight week or whatever it was, you know, a media workout? Why are you spending time to talk about an inferior event? Because you know it's cap and you know what you're doing. And this is a bad look. This is a huge L. because that's not going to get it done. Maybe over in Great Britain, maybe you can do that stuff, but this is America. The Beach Boys going to get you a great American. You see what I'm saying? So all this Eddie Hearn propaganda to try to uplift his event, it doesn't take away. Floyd Mayweather being at Tank's press conference and doing interviews has more virality than anything associated with any other event going on right now. Floyd Mayweather, he made some statements about Canelo, made some statements about Tank. All that's going viral. So no matter what Eddie Hearn is doing, I mean, it's not going to help your event. Like, whatever you sold is what you sold. And it just makes you look really like you're promoting it lousy when you're taking the time to talk about, if you got the better fight, then say less. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to explain it to us. You got the better fight. You got the creme de la creme. But he's trying his hardest to spend time during Devin Haney versus JoJo. Tell us about that matchup. This is what's wrong with boxing. Tell us about Devin and Joseph JoJo Diaz. Why is it a compelling matchup? Why should people spend $20 to get it? You're spending time promoting somebody else's event just by mentioning it. It's backwards. It's ASS backwards. And me being a person, I don't like to just tell you, I show you. Steven Espinoza, Showtime. Big celebrity turnout, including some of the biggest stars in the world to see Gervonta Davis tonight, including Drake. Y'all better not come to my studio with that fake. Yeah, I was running through the 6 with my whoa. You know how that go, right? Drake, Lil Wayne, Meek Mill. Wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished? Popeye was finished? Right? Odell Beckham, AB, not Adrian Broner, but Antonio Brown, Birdman, Jeezy. Great indicator of Tank's star power and popularity. This was the Showtime. This is a Showtime exec, Showtime VP, February 9th, 2019. Before Tank wasn't even on pay-per-view at this point. This is in 2019 and it's December and we're about to be in 2022. That's grassroots promotion. And that's what they've done there with Mayweather Promotions, Showtime, Premier Boxing Champions. So again, this is Steven Espinoza telling you all the celebrities that went to the fight that I told you earlier, which was Abner Matis' replacement opponent that no one heard of. So right then and there, I've destroyed Eddie Hearn's whole argument. He said he doesn't know America. I'm American. He don't know America more than me, an American who's out here doing it, right? And who's a consumer. You come out here for fights. I live out here. There's a difference. Eddie Hearn, he not gonna run the game and tell you and try to bamboozle people, right? He telling you what it is. I could show you what it is. So again, the thing you have to understand with casual fans, let's say Drake, I don't know for a fact how deep he is into boxing, but he knows Tank and he wants to see Tank. Action style, you know him personally, whoom. So you don't have to be a diehard fan to appreciate a guy like Gervonta Davis. You know it's going to be a lit event. You know it's going to be musical guests and, you know, maybe someone walk him out. You know, Tank's going to be electrifying and probably sizzle and knock somebody out or hurt them or whatever, right? So that's even better. Eddie Hearn, for whatever reason, cannot grasp this concept. He's like, oh, no one knows Isaac Cruz. You buffoon. It's not just about knowing Isaac Cruz, it's about knowing the A side. You think all them Canelo fans in Texas that you said you had 71,000, you think they knew who the Billy Joe Saunders was? Bro, they was going out there to see Canelo. And it's so funny that Eddie Hearn can only see this when it's Canelo or a fighter he manages, but when it's not, then he want to play these games. The Canelo fans, we know the Canelo fans in Texas showed out. They showed up and showed out. They don't care about no Liam Smith and Billy Joe Saunders and some of them guys he was fighting. They came to see Canelo and they wanted to see Canelo put on a show. End of story. And Tank is, in his age group, is the best at doing that. Tank Davis is the one that people are paying their hard-earned money to come out and see. And no matter how much you want to hate, none of that is going to change. Tank, no offense to Devin Haney, JoJo Diaz, no offense to Teofimo and Cambosos. These were really good fights as well. But Tank is on another level in terms of popularity. So you see, it's more than just who he's fighting. And the Isaac Cruz is a good fight, and he's supposed to fight Rolly, but that's not happening for obvious reasons. And I gotta save the best for last. Shout out to my boy Ari. Ari responded to this, Ego's Army. Eddie Hearn said, this is the last time you're gonna address it, but then you address it about another 10 times rent free. But look how Ari clapped you. Shout out to my boy Ari. He said numbers don't lie. You look at, this is Devin Haney versus JoJo Diaz press conference. There were 3,134 people watching it, 409 likes, right? They were going on, probably around the same time frame. Tank Davis, he had 11,000 people watching him, and he already had 1,100 likes as well. 11, right? And that was him versus this guy that nobody knows and all this hate. People see Tank, they know him and recognize him. They see the guy in the middle, like, oh, that's Floyd, and know he's representing one half of it. And they see the highlights of Isaac Cruz, and highlights of Tank, and they're like, oh, I want to see that. So Eddie Hearn, Leonard Ellerbe checked him for a reason, because what Leonard Ellerbe is saying is true. Don't worry about their show. People is already tapped in for that. Why are you worried about how many pay-per-views they do? You know, what part of the game is this? And this is what y'all want to allow. Y'all want to allow a foreign promoter like Eddie Hearn to try to take the floor and take shine away. Isaac Cruz didn't do anything. If anything, I celebrate Isaac Cruz, because the man, he's representing Mexico, and he came up with a lottery ticket and an opportunity, and he made sure he could be ready for it. That's what boxing is about. This wasn't supposed to be the initial fight. The initial fight, Rolly had a great press conference that everybody was talking about, right? But Eddie Hearn wants to play these games. That's why I had to unpack this. He want to play these games like he don't know or can't understand. It's not really hard to understand, sir. It's really not. Mind your beeswax, moral of the story. But shout out to Isaac Cruz for even stepping up. That's what the game is about. People stepping up. An opportunity presents yourself. You make yourself available. You make yourself ready. It's not Tank's fault that Rolly couldn't compete in this fight. And I'm still buying the pay-per-view. And that's what Eddie Hearn doesn't understand. I'm a consumer. I'm still spending money with Showtime to support Tank and to support the Showtime card. So no amount of hate you can do, unless Eddie Hearn gonna come here and, you know, prevent my phone from ordering this fight, then it's a wrap. So that's why it doesn't make you look good when you say you got the bigger event, but you look really salty. Boom, we unpacked.
The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.